Now.
And good evening. We have a lot to tell you about as we deal with this Arctic blast gripping most of Texas. First, there are a number of school districts closing tomorrow due to the weather. We just got word in the last 30 minutes that Houston ISD will be closed tomorrow. So, HISD joins Fort Bend, Katy, Spring ISD, and many others who are closed for Tuesday because of weather. And we just learned United Airlines has extended its ground stop of flights at Bush Airport until 6 o'clock tonight. Again, that is just United Airlines. Go to KHOU.com where we're tracking the latest closings and delays.
Let's take a live look outside. Right now it is cold and windy and just going to get colder. Many of you are sharing your photos with us, capturing the icy conditions. Do so safely, please. This includes images from Cypress and Conroe, among many other places. Right now we have both Chief Meteorologist David Paul and Meteorologist Pat Kaplan watching all the latest developments. How are things holding up, Dave?
It is cold out there, and as you mentioned, it is just going to get colder. These are current temperatures. Huntsville's at 21, Conroe's at 23, Tomball 25. Been in the 20s all day here. Been in the 20s since yesterday. Huntsville and Brenham and Columbus. Hobby's at 29. Galveston is just a little above freezing at 34, which is important because Galveston Island is still getting rain right now. It's not freezing rain, but rain as the winter weather advisory continues in effect, at least until 6 o'clock. I think they'll let it go in our northwest counties at 6. They may extend it on the coastal counties as icy bridges and overpasses will continue to be the threat. And you can see on the radar, we've still got this light frozen mix along the coastal counties. It's ended in Harris County, but Galveston, Chambers, Brazoria, Matagorda County, that's the light frozen mix. It's sleet, freezing rain, and rain right on Galveston Island. But League City to Alvin, then up in the Chambers County, getting pretty wet right now. And you can expect that some of the bridges, some of the overpasses, even on the secondary roads, are getting iced up a little bit. Now, Pat Kaplan, this is important because this may last for another hour, 2, 3, 4, and then it's just going to get bitter cold.
That's right, yes. So we have a lot to talk about, even though the bulk of this is over for a lot of us. So again, good news and bad news. The good news that the worst of it is over for our northern spots that saw quite a bit of icing through the course of the afternoon. The bad news is that now that focus has moved farther down towards the south, where we really haven't been dealing with it so far. So snapshot of what the radar kind of looks like right now. Future Track doing a pretty good job with that as we take you through the next few hours. Notice things start to thin out here. So by 7 o'clock, I think the bulk of this energy starts to move off towards the east. Still some light freezing drizzle out there. And then finally by around 10 o'clock is when I think most of us start to see improvements. Still a couple of light patches of frozen precip though through Galveston, through Chambers County. I think most of us though are seeing improvements. The city points north and west. You're okay, albeit bitterly cold. And then everyone dries things out as we get towards midnight. Bitter cold then comes in for tonight and tomorrow morning, and that's coupled with a gusty wind. We've got wind chill warnings for our northern areas where it feels like temperatures could drop below 0. And then the city to the coast, you're under a wind chill advisory where those feels like temperatures will be in the single digits. There's a snapshot of what it could look like tomorrow morning. Again, this is a feels like number of 4 in the city, 0 in Katy, 7 in Galveston and Brazosport, 2 below for Huntsville and 1 below in Brenham and Livingston. So dangerous cold as we get into tomorrow. Temperature-wise, we look like this. Low 20s in the city, below freezing at the coast, teens as you go farther north and west. By the afternoon, we're split. Areas from the city and points south make it 2 or just above the freezing mark, while areas to the north stay below freezing, upper 20s, low 30s. We see another hard freeze then Tuesday night into Wednesday morning with teens even into northern Harris County, still at the freezing mark in Galveston. And then, Dave, we'll make a run at 50 degrees as we get into the afternoon Wednesday, and then finally improvements towards the end of the week.
When the 40s and the 50s are considered a big warm-up, you know it's been cold in Houston. So this evening, dropping through the 20s, 27, 26, 25 degrees in the Houston area, breezy and cold. The north wind will pick up overnight, 15 to 20. It's going to gust to 30 on the coast. That's why those wind chills are going to be so low. And then these are air temperatures, cold, cold, cold tomorrow. 23 in the morning, 28 by noon. We're going to flirt with freezing in the afternoon near Houston. I've got us at 31. And then it's going to plunge back down and get freezing cold again on Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning, a low near 19. And then we rebound, the big warm-up, up to 49 on Wednesday. We actually get into the 60s on Thursday before another system comes in. Should give us a pretty nice Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but lows stay in the 30s and highs only in the 40s. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This is a big helping of winter for Houston by any means, by any standards. Be very careful on the roads. Bridges and overpasses in spots remain slick. Stay home and stay safe if you can. Len and Mia.
I'm asking Houstonians to stay off the roads. Cut out non-essential travel.
Mayor Whitmire urging drivers to avoid the roads. Right now, we have crews monitoring the road conditions for you. Traffic reporter Junior Caruso keeping tabs on our TransStar cameras.
But let's start with Troy Kless, who's heading east on Beltway 8 toward I-45. Troy, how's it looking?
Yeah, thanks, Len. So we actually just passed the flyover ramps, and you could see that there were some semi-trucks that were stopped on those ramps as they have been shut down, it appears. So again, that just goes to just how dangerous some of the conditions can be. Now take a look at some of the conditions that we saw earlier today. So the Harris County Toll Road Authority says it's trying to de-ice the main lanes of the Sam Houston Tollway. Now there was some video of the tollway near the Jersey Village area of traffic backed up this morning, or this afternoon rather. So again, the Toll Road Authority is saying that elevated interchanges will probably remain closed for the next 12 to 24 hours. I spoke with TxDOT, and they're working with local law enforcement to assist on crash scenes. But once again, they are discouraging people from traveling on the roadways. Kristen Hadley with TxDOT explains.
The more accumulation of the ice, so, it's recommended not to pass that way, but that doesn't exclude, our lower level roads. Those are susceptible to the same issues. So, it's not per se one over the other, but we don't want anyone to travel. But of course, our elevated areas are going to get hit hard first.
So again, if you must be on the roads, as you see up ahead of us, people are taking it slow and approaching some of these bridges and overpasses with care. Now, again, if you do have to be out on the roads, bring an emergency kit with you that has blankets, food, and water, as it may take time for first responders to come and help. Now, again, as TxDOT also say, just expand your following distance rather, and reduce your speed. But again, as you just heard them say, they're discouraging travel altogether. Reporting live in North Houston, Troy Kless, KHOU 11 News.
Certainly conditions most of us are not used to in Southeast Texas. Troy Kless, thank you. And of course, stay safe out there.
Our coverage of the road conditions continues now with Junior Caruso. What has your attention right now, Junior?
Well, we just watched the emergency vehicles pull away from this wreck. Those lanes on the right are heading westbound. And what happens here with these road conditions are two vehicles can crash and normally would only block one lane, but they're scattering across the roadway and shutting down the highway. And it was shut down. All lanes were blocked for about an hour. Like I said, the emergency vehicles just pulled away about 30 seconds ago. So the roadways are open, but just up ahead, there's icy conditions that these drivers are heading towards between Ella and the Tomball Tollway. All lanes are closed. These drivers are going to have to exit again and get onto the frontage road that is closed down in both directions, and it's going to remain closed until further notice due to the icy conditions out there.
All right, Junior, thank you. It has been a mess out there. We talked to a driver who was stuck in traffic for 6 hours. My goodness. Ron Trevino spoke to the driver. Ron, where's the driver now?
Well, Len, he just texted me about half an hour ago, and he finally made it home. He was stuck on the Hardy Toll Road trying to make his way home from Kingwood, his office in the Woodlands, to his home in Kingwood. It's normally a 35-minute drive, just over 22 miles. Today, it turned into 6 hours. Take a look at the video that he sent us into the newsroom. You can see slick roads as traffic just creeps along for miles. By Zoom, he tells me nothing like this has ever happened to him before, and he witnessed drivers slipping and sliding on the ice.
I saw as I came out of the Exxon Springwoods Village, there's an overpass that crosses 45. I saw two cars, well, not at the same time, but one I saw spinning, and then I saw another one spin out of control.
Frightening day for him. We're still working to find out exactly what caused that backup. Ice, an accident, or both. In the meantime, make sure you have the necessary items in your car beforehand in case you face a winter weather emergency like this one. Firestone Complete Auto Care suggests having a portable charger, an ice scraper, blankets, snacks and water, jumper cables, and a first aid kit, just to name a few things. And this is a reminder to stay off the roads if you can.
Folks finding out a little too late, thus the 6-hour commute. Thank you, Ronnie.
If you need a warm place to go, there are at least a dozen warming centers now open across Harris County. This includes Bayland Community Center on Bissonnette Street in Southwest Houston. It will remain open until 9 p.m. Wednesday night. Organizers say everyone is welcome, but pets must be crated. I spoke to one man staying there with his service dog. He shared this message with people who might be unsure about heading to a warming center.
I know a lot of people are hesitant coming to places like this, but to me, personal experience right now, I mean, those police officers are real nice. These people are real nice and everything. They care about your safety. They don't care about anything else. I'm sorry. They care about your safety. They don't want to find you, deceased on the side of the road. Y'all come on in, guys. Don't wait till the last minute.
No shame in asking for help. Another county-run center, by the way, in Houston is Greenhouse International Church. That's on West Greens Road in the Greens Point area. Organizers there say they can accommodate up to 1,000 people.
And just a few hours ago, the city of Houston opening up 10 more warming centers. That is 5 hours earlier than scheduled.
That is because of deteriorating conditions throughout the day. Jason Miles is live from the Denver Harbor Multi-Service Center with the latest for us there. Jason.
Hey there, guys. We're not allowed inside at this time to protect the privacy of those using this warming center, and people started showing up soon after the doors opened at 3 o'clock. Let's take you inside. Basically, the warming center is inside the gymnasium here at the Denver Harbor Multi-Service Center. We watched workers set up chairs, tables, and other items this afternoon. Now, keep in mind, no identification is required to use a city-run warming center, and pets actually can be accommodated thanks to kennels provided by Bark. We haven't seen any animals at this location so far, though. HPD officers also expected to keep an eye on each of the 7 warming centers. That's in addition to a number of others being housed in churches. That makes 10 in all. These are in addition to those run by the county and even more entities.
And this is not a shelter. It is a warming center. The purpose of this is really to get folks out of harm's way. As you can see, the setup, it's comfortable, it's warming here, but it is not our intentions to really set up a shelter. That is more for long-term use.
Mayor John Whitmire and others held a news conference here earlier today before this warming center opened, saying the best advice is to stay at home if at all possible and avoid getting out on the roads. Leave the roads open for emergency personnel who may need to use them in case of an emergency in this very cold weather situation. Meantime, as far as the city is concerned, non-essential city personnel, employees will stay at home tomorrow. Of course, that doesn't include police, firefighters, and things like that. And city officials say anyone out there able to hunker down at home, that is certainly the best thing you can do if it is at all possible. Reporting live from the east side, Jason Miles, KHOU 11 News.
Thank you for the rundown there, Jason. Appreciate it. Several school districts have announced closures, as we mentioned at the top of this newscast, all due to the weather. This includes Houston ISD, Fort Bend, Katy Spring, and Conroe ISD. You can head on over to KHOU.com for the latest on those school closures.
We are watching conditions in Houston as well as up in Dallas. Here's a look at the look up there, courtesy of the Dallas Dealey Plaza Earth Cam. Now, those folks dealing with similar conditions, except it's a few degrees colder there.
Back here in the state's largest city, Houston, officials working today to keep pace with the impact from this cold weather.
City's Emergency Operations Center now activated. Adam Bennett talking to officials there. Adam, what are they telling you?
Well, Lynn, not surprisingly, the number one concern has been the roads so far. Here along the North Loop 610, off and on, we've seen precipitation throughout the afternoon. A little bit of light precipitation just started again. Of course, that can make the roads very slick and very easy to lose control. That's why we're staying about 100 feet back behind this row of hedges here just to be extra safe. Earlier this afternoon, we did get to go inside the Emergency Operations Center for the city of Houston, just up the road from where we are on Shepherd. They're working there. They have members from several departments, actually, the fire department, police department, health department, and public works, to name a few, they're collaborating with a lot of other agencies. Those include TxDOT when they talk about which roads they want to treat, as well as the National Weather Service to figure out where best to send resources to get ahead of any potential ice. City officials tell me they're also working with nonprofits like the Red Cross and YMCA to figure out where they can send people to get warm if they don't have a place to go. Emergency Management Coordinator Thomas Munoz told me these agencies have been working together to prepare for the last 3 days.
We are prepared, and I'll tell you why, because we start monitoring and we plan all year for events such as this. You know, all our plans, work with our stakeholders, I keep on saying that, to ensure that we're ready for this. So we have our plans in place, our standard operating guidelines. We start looking at the area. As you see behind me, you know, we have all the information that we need to ensure that we're getting that situational awareness to make those decisions.
And city public works crews have also been treating bridges and overpasses around Houston, including these flyovers near Bush Airport, which you see in this video here from yesterday. Today, we've seen trucks from Harris County going to some of those outlying areas outside of city limits. Remember, that's home to almost as many people in those unincorporated areas of Harris County as there are here in the city of Houston. So a lot of potential risk there. Again, officials urging people to stay off the roads if they don't absolutely have to be on them. Judge Lena Hidalgo said a short time ago that her #1 concern is those icy roads. Len.
See this very often. It'll be over before you know it in a few days. Adam, thank you.
We're also tracking power outages. Right now, CenterPoint is reporting more than 1,100 outages. Now, ERCOT is asking Texans to conserve electricity tomorrow morning. That's between the hours of 6 and 9 a.m.
The agency telling us they expect demand for power to actually exceed supply tomorrow. Rekha Mudaraj in the newsroom. What's going on here, Rekha?
All right, Mia and Len, take a look at ERCOT's 6-day forecast of supply and demand. So the blue line, that turquoise line right there, represents demand, and the purple line, of course, is the available season capacity. That's the supply. Now, right here tomorrow around 8 a.m., line's getting really close. It shows there will be an even higher demand for power. It's why folks are being asked to conserve energy on Tuesday morning from 6 to 9 a.m. So how do you do that? Well, today, Reliant customers received tips on how to conserve energy. First, if you have an electric heater, set your thermostat 1 to 2 degrees lower. That can make a big difference. Also, run ceiling fans clockwise to push that warm air down. Next, check your windows and doors for any drafts. If you feel any cool breeze coming through, roll up some towels or blankets and stuff them into those gaps. And finally, resist the urge to use your dishwasher, your dryer, or your washer as well, any large appliances. Avoid using those between those times. Of course, we got a number of other tips on how to conserve on our website, KHOU.com. Len, back to you.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's give you one last live look outdoors here at 519. It looks as cold as it feels out there, if not even colder.
Our meteorologists, David Paul, Pat Kavlin, continuing to track the latest. David, what's up?
Temperatures are cold. They're going to get colder tonight. It's 29 at Hobby. Huntsville's at 21. Galveston is just above freezing. You've got light rain on Galveston Island, but just inland from that, it is freezing rain. These are current temperatures across Harris County. Jersey Village is 25 degrees here on this Monday afternoon. Downtown's 29, Hobby 29, Pasadena, LaPorte, Baytown, Channelview, all sitting on 30 degrees right now. And there's the light freezing rain and sleet and a little snow mixing in at times right along the coastal counties. And then Galveston, we're watching you carefully. There's the causeway. So far, no reports of ice there, but it's something we'll be watching very carefully. Hitchcock, Texas City, Tiki Island, Lamarck, Santa Fe. You guys are going to get a little frozen mix here for the next hour or so. And Pat Kavlin, that may last for a little while longer, and then temps are going to plunge.
Yeah, so here's what you need to know as we go through the next 24 to 36 hours. I would treat any wet spots on the roadways as patches of ice, at least through tomorrow afternoon, because that's how long temperatures are expected to stay below freezing. Some of us won't get above freezing again until Wednesday. The freezing rain and sleet is going to wrap up by midnight. And again, overnight temperatures down to the teens and 20s. And when you factor in the wind tomorrow morning, it's going to feel like 4 in the city. It feels like 7 for Galveston, Brazosport, out towards Lake Jackson. It'll feel like 4 degrees, 2 below for Huntsville, 1 below in Livingston and Brenham. So some bitter cold on the way for the overnight. This is what the actual air temperatures could be. 22 in the city, 29 down on the island, 17 for Conroe, Huntsville, 19 in Columbus, 20 in Katy. By the afternoon, again, areas from the in the city and points south flirt with the freezing mark, maybe even mid-30s, and then upper 20s to low 30s farther north. We'll do a hard freeze again tomorrow night before, David, a nice change as we get into the day on Wednesday.
Yeah, we're finally going to have a little warm up then. Here's tomorrow, 23 in the morning in Houston, still 28 by noon. We're going to flirt with the freezing mark tomorrow afternoon, maybe just below, maybe just above, and then plunge back into another cold night Wednesday morning, down as low as 19 in Houston, and then 49, near 50 by Wednesday afternoon. That's when we finally warm back up and everybody gets back above freezing. Thursday, 68. That'll feel nice before another front comes in. That'll put temps in the lows in the 30s for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and highs only in the 40s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Not quite as cold as this Arctic blast, but that's still going to be a chilly weekend and Friday coming up. Stay warm, stay dry, stay safe, and stay off the roads if you can. Guys, back to you.
Thursday looks good. Thanks, David. KHOU 11 is making sure you have all the information you need during this Arctic blast on our website. Text the word FREEZE to 713-526-1111. We have all the closures tomorrow, the latest from ERCOT and the latest from our weather team. Thanks for joining us here at 5.
And join us again at 6 o'clock as we continue to track the latest on this Arctic blast. We'll see you then.